Listen up, aspiring princesses, class is in session. Firstly, you need to understand that it's okay to want to be treated like a princess in your relationship. You are not asking for too much. If this is something important to you, then you should have it. In this video, I'm going to show you actionable steps on how to start receiving princess treatment and how to continue receiving it in a long-term relationship. So let's get into it. Hi guys, my name is Naomi, and if you're new here, I make videos to help women live their best life through self-improvement. If that sounds like your cup of tea, please consider subscribing. Studies show that people who subscribe to my channel are 32% hotter, 75% richer, and 100% happier. Okay, maybe I'm over-promising now, but let's get into talking about princess treatment. So we've all seen the princess treatment trend on the internet, primarily TikTok and Instagram, and the internet version of princess treatment usually looks like a man buying you a huge bouquet of flowers, maybe buying you really expensive gifts. But I do think the internet version of this is a little bit oversimplified and only focuses on the materialistic aspects of it. Princess treatment is about your partner noticing and understanding you and your needs, then doing things to help you live an easier and softer life. It's about them being patient, kind, and gentle with you and spoiling you, not just financially, but with their time and their energy. And if you're wondering, who is this girl? What are her credentials? Listen, I am the poster child of princess treatment. Me and my husband have been together for over 8 years now, and he treats me so well that it blows my mind sometimes. So I wanted to give some examples of princess treatment from my own life that you don't typically see on the internet. I remember one time we had come home from a trip and I was a little bit sick, so I was just too tired to put away the stuff from my luggage, so he did it all for me. He put away my makeup, my hair tools, he did all of the laundry, he deep cleaned the house, and the best part was that he did everything right. Weaponized incompetence is like not a term in his vocabulary. Another example is whenever we are getting ready to go somewhere, I obviously take longer to get ready. I'm doing my hair, my makeup. He will always ask me what he can do to make things quicker and easier for me. So I have this man like taking out shoe options for me. He's steaming all my clothes. I'm just like bossing him around and he's like doing whatever I'm asking him to do. This man truly makes my life so easy. Besides that, he does all of the other typical gentlemanly things that you would think of, like buying me flowers, gifts, opening doors, carrying things. But what I'm trying to show is his behavior as a whole is why I feel like the ultimate princess. So how can you start receiving treatment like this? Chapter 1. Find a provider type man. The number one most important thing to understand is that some men just won't treat you like a princess. No matter what you do, how beautiful you are, how well you treat him, some men simply won't do this for you. And it's a painful and a losing battle trying to change someone like that. It doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad person. Maybe he was just raised differently. But some men love to spoil their partner. They take pride in providing. They see the value in treating a woman well. So if receiving princess treatment is something that's important to you, the first step is to find a man that has this provider type of mindset. If your man does not have this mindset and the intrinsic desire within himself to want to provide, then all of this is just a non-starter and the rest of the tips in this video just won't work. And if for some reason you are attracted to the bad boys that treat you like shit and you think the good ones are boring, then figure that shit out. Go to therapy, do what you need to do, build a bridge, and get over your attraction to crappy men. Okay, so let me share a real life example about how my husband showed me that he was a very generous provider type man very early in our relationship. So we had just started dating. This was over 8 years ago at this point, and we were at the mall. We walked by a jewelry store and I wanted to stop and just like look at some pieces. I love to window shop for anything that's like pretty and sparkly. I pointed at a particular necklace with a dainty rose pendant and a diamond in the center. And I said something along the lines of, I love this necklace. I look at it every time I pass by this store. I hope I can get it one day. And he was like, yeah, it's beautiful. And we moved on and went about our day. 1 week later, he shows up at my house and he's holding a box. And you can probably guess that he bought me the necklace. Obviously, this was a really sweet gesture, but it was even more meaningful at the time because, again, we were only 19 and neither of us had much money. He showed me really early on that he was willing to spend what little money he had just to make me happy. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you will see early on if he has this mindset. But some of you may have experienced an ex that treated you like crap, but then treated the next girl like a queen. And you're thinking he's clearly capable of giving princess treatment, but why wasn't I the one to receive it? There are two possibilities here. Number one, maybe you had low self-esteem during that relationship and you consciously or unconsciously allowed him to give you the bare minimum. You didn't show him any consequences to giving you the bare minimum, so he continued to give you the bare minimum. Or possibility number two, maybe you just weren't his dream girl, but the next girl is. Which brings me to the next chapter. Chapter number 2, he has to love you just a bit more. A possibility for why he's not giving you princess treatment is maybe you're just not his dream girl. But the good news is you are someone else's dream girl. You're probably several other people's dream girl. So another aspect to selecting the right man is being with someone who is obsessed with you. You are their type. Trust me, there are men out there that would worship the ground you walk on. There truly is a lid for every pot. But the point is he has to like you and then love you just a bit more. Or at the least, you guys love each other pretty much the same amount. And I'm sorry if this is hard to hear. I don't make the rules, but I have never seen a happy relationship where the woman was more in love with the man and chased him to be together. My personal theory for why this is that women tend to be people pleasers. Even if a woman is not head over heels for a guy, she tends to put in more effort into the relationship still versus men putting a lot of effort into the relationship if he's really, really into you. And if you're wondering if he likes you more, well, there's your answer right there. Because there will be no mystery from the very beginning if you are this man's dream girl. He will make it known. There's also a misconception of what kind of woman deserves or gets princess treatment. The internet makes us believe that only super gorgeous, ultra feminine, always put together types of women are the only ones that get princess treatment. But let me tell you, the real life women, including myself, that get treated best by men don't necessarily look like the image that you see on social media. I look like this on camera, but I don't do my makeup most of the time. I don't dress super feminine most of the time. My husband sees me angry, crying, disheveled, frizzy haired, stinky, farting because I ate too many beans. He sees me in the spectrum of ways that I exist as a human, and he still treats me like a princess through it all. And it's largely attributed to these first 2 points that I outlined. He's a provider type man, and I'm his dream girl. Chapter 3, unblock whatever trauma is preventing you from receiving. So for this next chapter, we are going to look inwards because receiving princess treatment is as much about your partner as it is about you, the receiver. You are not receiving because you don't believe you deserve it. Why don't you believe you deserve good treatment? Maybe you're a people pleaser that thinks no one will like you if you stop being a doormat and start asking for good treatment. Maybe you have a deep-seated fear of seeming incapable or not independent enough. Some women are so uncomfortable with the idea of putting themselves first, let alone allowing someone else to put you first. And there's a very valid reason for this because as women, we're often raised to put others first. Our husbands, our parents, our children, our friends. We pour and pour and pour into others until we are left so depleted. We're raised to feel shame for putting ourselves first, but I'm here to tell you that it's not a bad thing to prioritize yourself and expect others to do the same. Smart people, the people who get the furthest in life, are the ones who can rely on their partner or other people in their circle. Long story short, if you want princess treatment but you feel shame for wanting it, try and figure out why you feel that resistance and work to get over it. Chapter 4, focus on yourself and become your own dream girl. The reason we're even talking about focusing on ourselves is because the only way you'll start receiving princess treatment is if you give it to yourself first. And the only way to be someone else's dream girl is to be your own dream girl first. Being your own dream girl means being the version of you that you are most attracted to. And it's not just about looks, it's about falling in love with yourself as a whole. Your talent, your intelligence, your kindness, your sense of humor, your aura. Are you a pleasant person to be around? around. If you were a man, would you enjoy spending time with you? So if there are aspects of your personality or even your looks that you don't like, just change them. I know I've done a lot to earn my own respect by working on the things that I value and by choosing to behave as my own dream girl every single day. And the reality is, if you haven't done the work to earn your own respect, other people won't respect you. When you treat yourself well in ways that people can see, like you have good hygiene, you're wearing a nice outfit, you stand up for yourself when someone disrespects you, you are teaching people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you by showing them how you treat yourself. No one loves and cherishes me the way I love and cherish myself. And because I put myself first, my husband also puts me first. Chapter 5, inspire the masculine. Something you need to understand about provider type men is that they love inconvenient women. Sometimes you hear men complain about high maintenance women, but then why does the trophy wife stereotype exist? It's because for men, an inconvenient, high maintenance woman is actually something to brag about. They're showing the world, hey, look, I have the means to take care of such a woman. And men love to work hard for things. It makes them feel good and masculine. So let him live his best life. Let him feel proud that he can provide for you. You are not taking from him. You are giving him the experience that he wants by being an inconvenient woman, but also a grateful woman. In general, in heterosexual relationships, men fall in love by doing things for you, and women fall in love by having a man do things for them. So stop trying to get him to fall in love with you by doing things for him that you actually want him to do for you. A simple fact is that when human beings work hard for something, they end up valuing the thing more. A great example of this is the IKEA effect. You know how you have to assemble IKEA furniture? So studies have found that the process of having to put time and effort into assembling a piece of furniture makes people value it much more, even though the quality of IKEA furniture is not the greatest. This applies to relationships as well. So give him the opportunity to provide and lead, and shower him with praise and recognition when he does it. I'm always trying to praise my husband when he is doing something that I like. For example, if he's mowing the lawn, I'll say in like a flirtatious and playful way how sexy he is when he does yard work. Or if he's carrying something heavy, I'll be like, wow, you are so strong. And if you're wondering what value you provide in exchange for receiving princess treatment, you are blessing him with a side of yourself that's loving, nurturing, feminine, playful. As a woman, these are invaluable things that you can give to a man. Make him understand that when he treats you a certain way, he's rewarded with a side of you that no one else gets to experience. So act in a way that inspires his masculine energy and makes him want to continue leaning into that side of himself. My husband always says, happy wife, happy life, and he says it in a playful way, but he's also 100% serious about it. Chapter 6. Learn the art of asking. So some of you are probably thinking, well, how do I get him to start doing the princess treatment things that I want him to do? Well, you gotta ask him, because men are not mind readers. For example, even though my husband was always a provider type man, I still had to teach him my specific definition of princess treatment because it's gonna look different for everyone. So let's get into how to ask him for things in a gentle and feminine way that makes him want to do these things for you. Let's say your man never really plans dates or gets you flowers, but you want him to start. I would say something along the lines of, I find it so masculine when men do blank. I find it so masculine when men plan dates. I find it so masculine when men open the door, when they buy me flowers for no reason. Fill in the blank with whatever you want him to start doing and make it about him. If he's a man that prides himself in being masculine, show him how he can be more masculine for you. Bring the conversation up when the mood is good and you guys are just hanging out and talking. And of course, be sweet, playful, and flirtatious when you say it. Most good men's reactions will be like, I can do that. I'm a manly man. I got you, babe. Absolutely do not say any of this in a demanding, belittling, or nagging tone. Nagging energy does not inspire a man to want to do things for you. On top of saying what I want verbally, I'll also drop some very obvious hints. Like if we're at the grocery store and we walk by the flower section, I'll be like, hey, let's go look at the flowers for a second. And I'll say something along the lines of, wow, these pink roses look so healthy. This is definitely my favorite shade of pink on a flower. So you're constantly showing him ideas on how to treat you and the things that you like. I also find that sending my husband TikToks or Instagram reels of other men doing sweet things for their girlfriends or their wives works really well. A real life example of this is I sent my husband a TikTok of this guy arranging a flower bouquet for his girlfriend because previously my husband would get me flowers, but I would have to arrange it myself and I didn't love that because it was just like more work for me. So I sent him the TikTok and I watched it with him and I was like, wow, this is so nice. His girlfriend doesn't need to arrange the bouquet herself. And this guy has such a good eye for arranging arranging flowers. His color choices are so nice. Don't you agree, babe? And literally a week later, he gets me flowers and arranges the bouquet himself. And ever since then, he's been arranging the bouquets himself. But what do you do when he tries to do something for you, but he does it wrong in some way? Maybe he made reservations at a restaurant, but it's not fancy enough, and you prefer a place where you can dress up a bit more. You say thank you so much, and you go on the date, and maybe a few days later, you bring up a conversation like, I love to dress up, but I haven't been able to in so long. Don't you love it when I get dolled up and wear a nice dress, do my hair, wear some heels? Next time we go somewhere nice, what do you want me to wear? How do you want my hair to look? Oh, you like it when I wear red lipstick? Next time you bring me somewhere nice, I'm gonna wear red lipstick. I can't wait for that to happen. When do you think we can go? So you're basically asking for what you want in a really fun and playful way, but you're also showing him that he gets a benefit out of it as well because he gets to see you all dolled up. And which man doesn't love to see his woman looking nice? Like I said, me and my husband started dating at 19, so we were basically kids and he was still learning how to be a proper gentleman. So early on in our relationship, I had asked him very nicely, very sweetly if he could start opening doors for me, because previously what we do is whoever was closer to the door would just be the one to open the door. And when I asked, he said, of course, I want to do that for you. So every time we would approach a door, even if I was the first one to get to it, I would move aside and allow him to open it for me. And it was really cute at the beginning because I'd step aside and he'd kind of forget that he was supposed to open the door. And all of a sudden he'd remember, oh yeah, I need to get the door. Let me go get the door. And even in those instances of small screw ups, I'd just smile and be thankful. And I would view it as endearing that he was even trying, rather than belittling him for forgetting the door sometimes and saying something like, ugh, you never open doors for me. It was through my positive reinforcement that it eventually became a full-on habit for him. A fun example of this is how I got him to start opening the car door for me. I, of course, told him first what I wanted him to do, and he agreed to do it. Then whenever we were getting out of the car at the beginning, he would sometimes forget, and I would just sit there. And he'd turn around eventually and realize, oh, I forgot to get the door. And he'd come over and open my door for me. I would always be very playful and silly with it. I'd put my hand out like this. I'd bat my lashes at him and I'd be like, oh, thank you. You're such a gentleman. And he would always laugh when I did this. It was just all very fun and silly. But this was very effective in getting him to start opening the car door for me. But sometimes the situation won't call for flirtation or gentle nudges in the right direction. Maybe you're genuinely hurt and upset because he was neglectful in some way. Like if you already explained to him nicely what you want and he agreed to it and he ends up dropping the ball in a major way. You need to make it known that you are upset. Don't be afraid to make a fuss. Be the inconvenient girl. You should be firm and express how you feel sad and disappointed and explain what you want done differently next time without belittling or yelling at him. In life, you need to show people consequences. So if he's not doing the things that you want and need from him, he needs to deal with the consequences of you being upset. Chapter 7, learn the art of receiving. Receiving is about leaning back and giving people the space to do things for you. And when he does do the thing for you, give him the right amount of positive reinforcement. Show that you're grateful, but also act like you deserve it and don't overdo it with the thankfulness. Think about it like this. When you order food at a restaurant and the server brings it out to you, you just smile and say thank you. You don't gasp in shock and thank them a million times and start crying because no one has done something like this for you before. Nope, you simply say thank you because it's the server's job to bring you the food. Your man is the server in this analogy. When he gives you princess treatment, he's just playing the role that you both agreed to. Some of you are acting in a way that is blocking you from receiving good treatment from anyone. A simple example. Someone compliments you on how good you look today, and you feel the need to downplay it by saying, oh no, it's nothing, it's just makeup. Why are you deflecting the compliment? Just say thank you. Even if you don't believe them, just say thank you. When my husband gave me that diamond necklace that he could barely afford 8 years ago, I didn't say, no, take it back. Keep the money for yourself. I can't take this. Nope. I said, thank you. You're so sweet for this. I love it. I simply received. Okay, it's actually getting really dark, so let me go get an extra light. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you can see me again. Chapter 8, distance makes the heart grow fonder. So leave him alone. The next piece of advice is for all of my people pleaser girlies. Please stop doing things for him. Leave him alone. Like obviously a relationship is an exchange and you should be benefiting each other, But women can often fall into this mothering type role where their boyfriend or their husband becomes like their project or their toddler. And I've definitely fallen into this trap in the past where I was always concerned with, did he eat enough veggies? Did he go to the gym? Did he pay his parking ticket? Let me help him with all of this. This behavior is so unsexy for both of you. He's not gonna find you sexy and you're not gonna feel sexy. But if you want him to chase you, you need to give him the opportunity to do so. When you give him space, he has the chance to come crawling to you. And you always hear the advice of play hard to get in relationships and dating, but when you're focusing on yourself, you're not playing hard to get, you are hard to get. So whether or not there's a man in your life, you should still be putting time into your hobbies, you should still hang out with your friends, you should still stick to your own schedule, and you should be your main top priority. Let's say you tell yourself, tonight, I'm gonna work an hour on my hobby and then I'm gonna take a bath and then I'm gonna read a book. Don't break that promise to yourself when a man is like, hey, come over. And this advice applies not just when you start dating, but also in long-term relationships. If you wanna keep the spark alive and you want him to chase you the way he did at the beginning, you need to focus on yourself and spend time apart. Esther Perel is a leading researcher in romantic relationships and she talks about this phenomenon all the time. So the scientifically proven way to keep the spark and the desire alive is for you two to have your own lives. The saying, distance makes the heart grow fonder, is so true. Chapter number 9, the final chapter. Don't lower your standards. If princess treatment is something that's important to you, don't try and convince yourself to settle. You will be so unhappy and grow resentful in the long run. People like to tell me that I'm so lucky for being with a man that treats me so well, and luck is part of it. I am lucky that I met a man that is so amazing, but he's not the only amazing provider type man out there. I attracted this type of man because of my standards and boundaries with him and myself. So don't shoot yourself in the foot by lowering your standards. Okay, that was a lot of yapping. We are finally through the whole script of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I hope you found it helpful. I hope that everyone watching this video gets the relationship that they desire because everyone deserves a good partner in life. Let me know which videos you want to see from me next. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you want to see more of the behind the scenes, more fashion content, more relationship content. Like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys.